All right, you're tuned into another special episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. I'm your brother, Old Guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored. Sitting across from me is my co-host.
What up, y'all? It's your man Sam and Viral Hip Hop News. Like my cuz said, man, you're in the building for a very special episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. We got a special guest in the building once again. X to the motherfucker Z is in the building. Xzibit.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
What up, man? What's good?
God damn, we got Xzibit on the podcast, y'all. This shit crazy, man. How you been, man? How's everything going? We see everything that's going on. We start with all of our guests with. We see everything that's going on out here in this world in 2020. Shit's crazy. COVID. We got social injustice like at an all-time high. People out here really paying attention and really making a move. How's Xzibit feeling with everything's going on?
Man, I mean, surprisingly, man, with all the tragedy and all the turmoil going on, man, I feel really centered. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my back to a wall. Like, you know, my family's good. My people are good. You know, we staying healthy. You know, I try not to get distracted with all the stuff that gets pumped through the media and the news, because I think misinformation and people panicking is more detrimental to society than the actual pandemic. I think the racial fires being stoked are unfair to, you know, our communities, and being pushed as an agenda. So really, I'm trying to, you know, what it feels like to me is, you know, as well as I'm doing is I fear for the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone else that don't have the same access to, you know, the same things that we do. You know, like the less fortunate, the people that, you know, don't have, you know, live check to check and, you know, haven't been allowed to go to work and not allowed to, you know, like, you know, have their kids in school. I think that's more detrimental. And so that's more what I'm worried about than anything else.
Definitely. I heard you talking in an interview about your vape company or weed company or a mixture of two. Can you get into that and the success of that as well?
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, I've been in cannabis for about 5 years. My first company was called Brass Knuckles. We did extremely well. And, you know, once we decided to dissolve that relationship, I had 2 other partners in that. And so I got a lot of, you know, learning curve done in that business. And so now I got a lot of do's and don'ts that I know about. And I started another company called Napalm. And we turned on with a beta test with our first category was pre-rolls. We came out with a grenade, 8 gram pre-roll, and it just kicked ass, man. And so, you know, we launched it again, and so we out here, man. Napalm is doing well.
It's dope to see that marijuana business is beginning to boom, and it's the stigma is starting to be taken off of it that was on there 10 years, 15, 20 years and beyond. But you still see brothers and sisters locked up for weed charges. You still see them weed charges on people's record. Talk about a little bit of the hypocrisy now that weed is a little more less taboo, but you still see brothers and sisters sitting behind bars for it.
Man, I mean, it's like people used to go to jail for dime bags, you know, nickel bags. Like back in the day, you remember it was just chronic and stress. it wasn't all these fucking names that they got now. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's crazy because, you know, those infractions that you know people are actually doing real time for, especially the gentleman up in Michigan. He damn near got a life sentence for, you know, a couple pounds of weed. So you know, like now as it becomes more and more available and accessible to the United States, once it gets federally recognized, it's going to be a big booming business. So those people that have been locked up should have access to these licenses. They should have access to these dispensaries. They should be able to come out and have their record cleaned and be able to participate in this, because now it's saving states. You know what I'm saying? Like Colorado was the first one to come online, and their economic strength has, you know, is for the books, you know. And so California is close, you know, right behind them, because, you know, this is the biggest market, you know, period. So to take care of California and to have those people come out and have access to these jobs is something that is very important to our company. We employ about 30 people, and some of them, have never worked in cannabis before, but some of them have definitely come on board and had the opportunity to work here. I employ people of color. I employ people that are qualified to do this job, and it's a great way to be able to give back to the community.
Can you get into like the licensing part? Is it hard to do? How much is it for people who are interested in, getting into that business?
I mean, nothing good comes easy. So, I mean, filling out paperwork, being consistent, being on top of your business is something that, in any business is important. So this is no different, getting licenses, applying for licenses, having your finances in order to come into this game is pretty important. So, it's not that difficult, but it does take a team of people to do this. With the licenses, you just got to be on top of what's going on in your legislature, what's going on in your place that you live, what licenses are coming online, how do you apply, where do you apply, what day do you have to do it. You have to research this information because they don't make it easy for you to find this stuff out. So you have to be involved.
Absolutely. Let's transition. I want to transition back to the pandemic and everything that's going on real quick.
Yeah.
Because it seems like, and we always talk about it, there's a lot of information being thrown out there, and there's a lot of information that's swaying a lot of emotion. We don't know whether to decipher things are real, things are fake. We don't know whether to decipher if they're doing a race war or really things are really going on. We know things are really going on, but at the level and the height they're throwing it at. Then we see celebrities very vocal about it. What do you make of all of it, man? We talked to Big Gip, and he said people were paid off to make us shut up and chill out, and it's just a lot of chatter going on. What do you think about everything that's going on?
Man, well, fuck Terry Crews. Let me start off by saying that.
Oh shit.
Let me start off by saying that corny ass shit. But look, dude, I kind of stay away from religion and politics, so I come at it on some gangster shit, right? Yeah. And so I look at what's happening, and at first you get offended, and feel disrespected, and it's like you really feel that way, and you got to be that vocal about it. I try to look behind the message and look at the messenger, right? And so when I do that, then it makes a little more sense. People are scared. People have been fed, bullshit since they were born. And so now they're living that out and living out their prejudice. And it feels like, this shit is all getting pushed. Like, it feels like, like the devil was like behind schedule. So he's like, fuck, dude, 2020, we got to push this shit. We got to push this shit. Right. And so I'm not really worried about it, man. It's like I like to be like water, man, and just flow, go with the flow. But I don't get into organizations or movements or go out and protest and all that stuff. Look, dude, this is something bigger than what is being presented to us, right? I feel like we're watching this horrible illusion. Like, okay, so you got David Blaine and then you got Chris Angel.
Mm-hmm. Damn. We can't hear you, brother.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you went out for a couple seconds. All we heard was David Blaine versus David.
Okay, yeah, you got David Blaine and then you got Chris Angel. We on the Chris Angel show.
Hell yeah.
And so we watching this horrible illusion, and people are so caught up in this bad trick that they're not looking at the strings and the mirrors. Like, I believe that something bigger is happening, and it's going to drop on us, and we're not going to be prepared for that. So I'm not being distracted by all this shit because it's bad and it looks fucked up and it's crazy and a pandemic and all this misinformation, but I still feel like there's something bigger happening. So I'm looking for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as my family and my peoples and all that stuff, like, I fear for our people because, you know, we're unorganized. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at. It's like us as black and brown people, people that don't control the finances of this country. Like, we're basically out in the cold. So, you know, if we don't organize ourselves, if we don't come up with a plan, if we don't look at these things and discuss amongst ourselves, I think we're gonna have a rough ride for the next few years.